Hello, this is Dr. Ben Cisse. This is Urban Biology, where teaching and learning is simplified for your understanding, but most importantly, for you to do very well in any biology class. The goal for today is to learn about the cell cycle. Before we start, how many of you still recall the definition for a cell? There's no way I can teach about the cell cycle without revisiting what a cell is. How many of you recall what a cell is? Yeah. Cell is the basic structure and function of all living things. All. Anything that we say is living has to have a cell. As a matter of fact, that's one of the biggest differences between living and non-living things. Okay? In this whole wide world, most living things came to being because of two cells. One from the mom, one from the dad. So it means they reproduce sexually. Oh yeah, there are some living things that don't reproduce sexually, they reproduce asexually. So which means there's only one. Okay, that's only that one individual. It doesn't involve sex cells like sperm and egg. I'm talking about sexually reproducing organisms. Me, you. We came to this world because two cells. You got one from your dad, one from your mom. Those two combined, and they made you, and they made me. But listen, hear me out. If I take a drop of blood, if I were to prick my fingertip right now and just take a tiny drop of that blood, put it on a slide, and observe it under a microscope, it will be teeming with hundreds and hundreds of red blood cells. Mind you, started with how many cells? Two cells. One from the mom, one from the dad. If I take a sample of a drop of blood from my finger, that drop of blood will have millions of cells in there. But I don't get it. How did I go from two cells to all the cells I have in my entire body? How was that possible? Because of the process of cell division. Let me repeat. What is the process that makes it possible for me to have so many cells in my body? Because of cell division. In this whole wide world, you can take most living things, you can take every single cell in their body, every single cell, divided into two groups. One group of cell called body cell. Another group of cell is called sex cells. Your nose, your eye, your ear, your intestine, your liver, your pancreas, all of these are your body cells, except if you're male, your sperm. If you're female, your egg. But everything else are body cells. Those two don't divide the same. All your body cells divide by a process called your toe, foot, toe, cis. Mitosis. That's how body cells divide. Sex cells divide by meiosis. Okay, let me see who's been listening. What are the two ways all cells divide? Yeah, mitosis and meiosis. Which process divides body cells or make more of body cells? Mitosis. And which one makes more sex cell? Meiosis. The goal for this video is not about meiosis. It's not about sex cell. It's about mitosis and body cells. However, Before mitosis produces more cells, it has to go through a process. It has to go through what we call a cycle. You and I have to go through a cycle. Cells have to go through a cycle. The cycle that cells go through can be mitosis or it can be meiosis. But again, like I said earlier, this video concerns only mitosis. So what comprises the cell cycle? There are three main parts of the cell cycle that everyone needs to understand. I will draw this later on the board so you can better understand it. But for right now, please listen and fill in that worksheet that I have given to your teacher to give to you, or your teacher will print out and give to you. 3 parts cell cycle that you need to understand. I'm going to say it, pause, then I will ask you, okay? Let me see how many of you have been listening. First phase is called interphase. Second phase is called mitosis. The third one is not really a phase, but I'm going to call it a phase for right now. It's called cytokinesis. Interphase, mitosis, cytokinesis. Can you please say that with me? What are the 3 parts of the cell cycle? Interphase, mitosis, cytokinesis. That last word may be a little bit difficult for some of you to pronounce, but cytokinesis, interphase, mitosis, cytokinesis. Those are the 3 sections of the cell cycle. Let's look at the word interphase. It says interphase. INTERPHASE, interphase. How many of you have heard of the word interphase highway? Yeah, interphase highway. Example, you would say I-77, that's why they call it I-77 is an interphase highway. I-85 is an interphase highway. So when I use the word interphase, it means it's between 2 something. In this case, since I'm referencing highway, that highway is between 2 different states. Interphase, between. Inter means between. So when I use the word interphase, that means it's between 2 different phases. You got it? Interphase between 2 different phases. Interface between mitosis and between cytokinesis. Please repeat after me. Interface between what? Mitosis and interphase. Okay? All right. Let's go through those 3 phases quickly. Then I'm going to draw on the board and then I will explain it again so you can best understand it. Okay? Let's go to interphase. Now, interphase, like I said earlier, number 1 is between 2 different phases. Number 2, very important. This is where the cell grows and also replicate or duplicate the cell's DNA. Wait a minute. I think I went too fast. So let me go real slowly so you can get it. Now we're trying to ascertain what is happening in interphase. Okay, you ready? In interphase, 2 important processes taking place in interphase. Number 1, the cell is growing, it's getting bigger. Number 2, the cell is replicating its DNA. Why is the cell growing? So it can divide. Okay? So the cell is getting nutrients from the environment. So start getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, like a balloon, like you put an air in the balloon. Start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now the cell has two choices. Either you divide or you burst, like the balloon. If you keep putting air and air and air, it's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's gonna come to a certain size where it has no choice. It will just burst. Why? Because the volume of the cell increases faster than the surface area. The inside of the cell, when you put the air inside the balloon, is expanding faster than the outside. So if that cell is not careful, it's gonna die. So guess what this cell does? It divides. Everyone get me? Okay, let's stop right there for a minute. Let's just review. How many cells did I start out with? 2 cells, one from I and one from I. Good job. Yeah. Okay, I can take every cell in your body, divide them into 2 groups. What are those 2 groups? Yes. Body cell and sex cell. Now, here's what I think most of you probably don't know the answer to. Are you ready? By what process do body cells divide? Yes! Oh man, you guys are smart. Mitosis. And by what process do sex cells divide? Meiosis. Very good. What is this video about today? Is it about mitosis or is it about meiosis? Good job. It's about mitosis. Okay. For any cell to divide, they have to go through a cycle we call the cell cycle. I said that before. Okay? Now, the cell cycle is made up of 3 parts, 3 sections. What are those 3 sections? I had interphase, mitosis. I see you struggling with that word, huh? Cytokinesis. Exactly right. Okay, so you get interphase, mitosis, and cytokinesis. Okay, here we go. Good. Everyone is doing very well. Now let's talk about interphase. Let's talk and learn about interphase. Interphase, recall, is between 2 phases, cytokinesis and mitosis. Okay. Now, interphase in turn is divided into 3 sections. I'm sure most of you still recall interphase is where the cell does 2 things: grow, DNA replication. Grow, DNA replication. Okay, but in order for the cell to grow, in preparation for dividing, it has to go through 3 sections or 3 processes. All right, everyone ready? Here we go. The first is called the G1. G, like letter G, and then 1. G1. Yeah, I know. Yes. Oh, yes. Some of you say, oh, yeah, Dr. C said the G means grow. Yeah, it's grow. That's where you have rapid growth. It's growing real fast. G1, we're growing real fast. Okay? And then after that, it reaches a certain size, and then the DNA replicate. It doubled the DNA. That's what replication means. So if that cell has 5, how many would that cell have after the second phase that's called the S phase? You have 10. So let me stop. I think I lost you there for just a minute. So let me just go right. I can tell when I'm going faster, right? And you're not getting it. I can pretty much tell. So let me stop right there for a minute. So we're talking about interphase. How many parts did I say were there for interphase? Yeah. First, it's called G1. The cell is growing real fast. Real fast. Why is it growing real fast? In preparation for cell division, to divide the cell into 2. Okay. After G1, the cell is going to move on to what we call the S phase. S, letter S phase. The S phase is where synthesis means make. If I say synthesis, make, like photosynthesis, making glucose. Synthesis means you what? You are making. In this case, in S phase, they're making double the chromosome, or double the DNA, or double the gene. Very important. Let me repeat. What is happening in S phase? Yes, the DNA double. What's the process called by which the DNA doubles? Replication. Good job. Okay? Now, let's pause for just a minute, because this is going to be important. When the DNA divides, it produces two. The process by which the DNA does that is called semi-conservative. SEMI-CONSERVATIVE, semi-conservative. And I will not go into detail about what semi-conservative is right now, but I will in the other videos that will follow. So, one important process taking place in the S phase, the DNA is replicated, making a copy. But why? Why is the DNA replicated? How many cells did we start with? Yes, one cell. How many cells are we going to end up with? Some of you are thinking critically. We start with one cell, we're going to end with two cells. Okay, that one cell has, let's say four chromosomes, four. Okay, that one cell, the cell that you started will have 4 chromosomes, but you're going to make 2 cells. Okay, and guess what? This cell must be the same as these 2 cells, must be identical, must be a clone. Everyone know what a clone is. So this cell must be these 2 cells must be a clone of this cell. The cell that you started with must have the same genetic makeup as this 2 cells. So the reason why DNA has to replicate, so those 2 new cells which we will produce will have the same genetic makeup. I cell produce I cell. You don't want I cell to produce no cell. No, they must have the same genetic makeup. After you leave the S phase, you go to the G2 phase. Why is the G2 phase important? Because after G2 phase, now the cell is ready to divide. Listen carefully, guys. The cell does not, repeat, the cell does not divide in interphase. The cell is prepared for cell division in mitosis. I want to make sure you get it. This is urban biology, where I'm trying to simplify it so you can get it, so you can do very well in the biology class. So let me repeat again. Okay, interphase, 2 important things. The cell grows, DNA replicates. Okay, but there are 3 parts. You have G1, that's the first one, G1, S, and then G2. G1, the cell grow rapidly, real fast. S phase, DNA replicate. G2 phase, the cell is ready to move on to mitosis, so it can divide into 2. Are there any questions? Okay, now finish with interphase. Now we're going into the M phase of mitosis. There are 4 parts to mitosis. And I'm going to give you the letters in the correct order, but you got to stay with me. I'm not going to call it KMAT. I'm going to call it PMAT. Not KMAT, but PMAT. Not Walmart, but PMAT. You ready? Not Kmart, but PMAT. Ready? Kmart, but PMAT. Not K-mat, but P-mat. P-M-A-T. 4 parts of mitosis. Not K-mat, but what? You get it. So when the cell leaves interphase, the very first place the cell is going to go to is that P word, which is called prophase. I'm going to write it down. I'm not going to leave you hanging. Okay, I'm going to write it down. So the first letter is P, second letter M, third letter A, fourth letter is T. P-mat, in that order. That's how the cell going to. So the cell going to go from P, then it goes to M, then it goes to A, then it goes to T, and bingo, we're getting ready to have our 2 cells. Are you ready for this? Please listen. I'm going to write all of this down. Some of you, I hope the teacher is pausing so you can write. The main goal of mitosis is to divide remember they double the nucleus, double the DNA. So the main goal of mitosis is to divide the genetic material into 2. And to divide the genetic material into 2, you're going to need 2 cells. Let me repeat, and I'm going to say it real slowly. The main goal of mitosis is to divide the genetic material into 2 identical cells. Sometimes, let me use the word nucleus. You've taken biology before. I'm sure you talk about cell. DNA is found in the nucleus. So what I'm about to say is also correct. The goal of mitosis is to divide the nucleus, one nucleus, into 2 nuclei. When it's 2, plural. Nucleus means plural. So divide one nucleus, singular, into 2 nuclei. That's the goal of mitosis. Make sure that what you started with is the same DNA like what you end up with. To divide the nucleus, mitosis have to go through 4 steps. What are those 4 steps? Just give me the initials. Yeah. P-M-A-T, correct. It has to go through a process. Okay, and we're going to talk about those processes in a minute. But for right now, we don't have 2 cells yet. We don't have 2 complete cells. All mitosis did was just separate those nucleus into 2. Okay, but we don't have 2 cells. We don't have 2 identical cells. Guess who comes in and separate the cells so we can have 2 cells? Cytokinesis. C-Y-T-O-K-I-N-E-S-I-S. Cytokinesis. Are you with me? Okay, now what we're going to do now is, okay, this is what we're going to do now. Make sure you have your colored pencil handy. Make sure you look on the board. First, I want you to write the word at the top of the line. Okay, this is your first line. Right in the middle of the line, I want you to write the word cell cycle. So write the word cell cycle. Write the word cell cycle. You need to have at least 5 different colored pencils. I don't have 5, but you should have 5 colored pencils. Very important. Okay? So you write the cell cycle. Now, after you write the cell cycle, please do exactly like I'm asking you to do. All right? After you've written the word cell cycle, I want you to count your lines. 1, 2, 3, 4th line. On the 4th line, you're going to draw a circle that will represent a cycle. So you're going to draw a circle that represents a cycle with one of your, don't use your color pencil, a pen or pencil. Just use a pen or pencil for right now to draw a to draw a circle. All right. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. So you draw on the fourth line, you draw, make sure you don't draw too small. Boy, look at it, almost a perfect circle. So draw your circle, okay? Okay, after you draw your circle, I want you to find the center of that circle. Try to find the center of the circle, okay? And put a dot, okay? Put a dot right there in the center of the circle. Everyone done that? Good job. Now, the same color pencil you use, we're going to make a pie. I got a black pen. I'm not sure what pen you have, but the first color pencil that you have is going to get more. Let's pretend this is pizza. The black is going to get most of the pizza, about 75% of the pizza. So use your black color pencil, separate it, so like a straight line like this, straight line. Pac-Man. How many of you are familiar with Pac-Man? You guys are probably too young to know what a Pac-Man is. Maybe you do. I don't know. All right. But look, most of this pie is occupied by the black. Use that same black. Everyone with me? Go all the way around. Make sure you leave a space. Make sure you leave a space. Look what I'm doing. So that's a space between my green and the black, the inside space. Okay. Notice that's a space. See that space? That's a space going around. So make sure you do that. Now I really have my Pac-Man. Wow. I got a Pac-Man. I got a Pac-Man. I got a Pac-Man. Okay, everyone ready? All right, we're doing very well. With that same color pencil, don't put it down. Now we're going to take all of this belongs to the black. All of this. So now take that black and put a dot, dot, dot. You're going to put two sets of dot, dot, dot inside the black. Look what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, that's dot. And then another dot. Okay, so 2 dots. You got it? Good job. Excellent. Now with that same colored pencil, I want you to write the word interface in that space. Remember the space I had? For mine is black and green. I'm not sure what your color is. But between the black and the green, I want you to write the word interface. Interface. So write the word interface. Everyone doing all right? Good job. Use that same color pencil. Write G1. G1. Anyone remember what comes right after G1? Yes. S face. So we start with the S. And this is G2. Good job. All right, remember, use the same color pencil, right? Use the color pencil. So if I ask you who is in a particular family, you know there are 3 families here. This is all one family. So who is in the interface family or in the interface house? G1, S, and G2. Okay? How do I know? They're all black. Like me. Okay, they're all black. Okay? So you get G1, you got S, and then you got G2. Okay? Now take that color pencil and put it down. You don't need it anymore. Reach out for another of your color pencil. Excuse me, dusty in here. I'm sorry. Okay, reach out for your other colored pencil. Everyone ready? Okay, take that color pencil. But look what's left. All the pie is gone. All the pizza is gone. Look, that's all we have left. Oh man. So what we have left now? We're going to divide it between mitosis and cytokinesis. Okay, so mitosis is smart. It's going to get most of what is left. Okay, so use that color pencil that you have. Draw. See, that's a blue line. Can you see that? This is a blue line. So most of this right here is for mitosis. Then put 3 dotted line inside. 1, 2, 3. So put 3 dotted line inside. Okay. So you put 3 dotted line inside From here to here is blue. So now you draw your blue line, just like we did it last time. So now instead of black, for mine instead of black and green, now I have blue and green in this space right here, in this space. Okay, so I have blue and green. So that's a space needed for you to write the word mitosis. So right in that space, mitosis. Can you tell me why I have 4 spaces in mitosis? Why is that? Why do I have 4 spaces there? Exactly right. Exactly right. P, man, you got it. So the first letter is P. The second one is M. The third one is A. And the last one is T. So it's going clockwise. Okay, clockwise, P, M, A, T. Going clockwise. And then take that color pencil and then put it down. Boy, you guys are doing so great. Yeah, you're doing wonderful. You're doing exceptionally well. Great job. All right, now get your other color pencil. Unfortunately, I wish I had a different color pencils, but I don't see any other colored pencil that I have, so I have no choice but use my green. I've already used green before, but you have different color pencils, so you use different color pencil, okay? All right, now I'm going to use green. So look, what is left? Look at that, boy, all the pie is gone. That's all he had. Look at that. That's all he had. This, I don't know. I don't think I have room to write that word in that small space, so I'm going to bring it over and write cytokinesis. Kinesis. Cytokinesis. I hope that's visible. Yeah, that's visible. That's CY. That's a Y. Tokinesis. Cytokinesis. Okay? Cytokinesis. All right, now look at it. Look at the cell cycle. Just by looking at it, who is in the families? Give me one family name. Yeah, interphase. What's your other family name? Mitosis. And what's your other family name? Can you tell me the name of the family that does not have any children? Cytokinesis. All by herself, no child. Mitosis has 4. PMAT. Interphase has 3. Okay? All right. Now, this is what I want you to do, please. With any of your other colored pencil beside what you've already used. Let me repeat. With any of your other colored pencil beside what you already use. Again, for me, I have no choice, so I'm gonna use another color pencil. So over here, right where it starts, the black, right where the black starts, I want you to write 1 cell. 1 cell. Right where the black starts, you can put an arrow there. Or if you have room, you can write the word 1 cell. Right where the arrow is pointing to the black. Right where interphase starts. Where you have interphase, put 1 cell. Right after cytokinesis, you put 2 cells. 2 cells. So I'm going to draw an arrow right here, right where cytokinesis stops. Write 2 cells. Okay. Let me point it out again so this way you can get it. Right where cytokinesis is, right there, right at the end where cytokinesis stops. See the short arrow there. Let me make it a little bit bigger so it can become more visible. I hope that becomes more visible. Okay, so right here is 2 cells. Right where interphase starts is 1 cell. Okay, so you start with 1 cell, all the way 1 cell, and then you end up with 2. So for mitosis, you start with 1 and end up with 2. Are there any questions so far? Okay, now let's go down to your note. Let's go down to your note. Okay, let's go down to your note. But before we do that, let us review. Okay, I like to review, right? I always like to review, make sure you get it, always. Question number one, how many cells did you start out with? Yes, 2 cells. One from your, and one from your, yeah. How many cells do you have today? Can you survive with only 2 cells? Oh, no way, impossible. Trillions of cells. As a matter of fact, you have so many different cells in your body, each of them have their own job to do to keep you alive. But all of those cells must always be produced 2 ways. What are the 2 ways? Every single cell in your body is produced, or what are the 2 ways that you make more of all of your cells? Yes, mitosis and meiosis. What's this video about today? Is it mitosis or is it meiosis? Good job. It's all about meiosis. I misspoke. Always all about mitosis. All right. What are the 3 main parts, or let's say families of the cell cycle? What are the 3 families of the cell cycle? Interphase, mitosis, cytokinesis. Good job. Interphase, mitosis, cytokinesis. Those are the 3 families. Now, which family does not have a child? Yeah, that's C word, right? Cytokinesis. How many children are there in mitosis? Can you name those kids for me? There you go. I know some of you saying prophase because you already know this before. Yeah, the P stands for prophase. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But right now, I just want you to give me the initials. PMET, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Oh, how many people or how many family are there in interphase? 3. Where does the chromosome replicate or DNA replicate? Yes, interphase, but I want you to be specific. Where in interphase does the chromosome replicate? You get it. Exactly right. In the S phase. All right. Critical thinking. Can someone please tell me? Yaya, one of my favorite students. Paris, one of my favorite students. Who else? Dooley. Megan. I'm trying to think of names. Matthew. Wow. All right. Everyone is my favorite. You guys know that, right? Everyone is my favorite. Can someone tell me why DNA has to replicate? Why does DNA have to replicate? Great. So that each new cell will have the same exact copy like the original. Each new cell must have the same copy as the original. Okay? Are there any other questions? Are there questions? Of course, you can ask me a question because I'm not there, but you have your worksheets. So now what you want to do is you have to go through your worksheets. You have to label the parts. All right. And then you have to answer all the questions. You should have been answering the question as the lesson unfolds. That needs to be picked up, and that needs to be given to your teacher or the sub. No exceptions. Okay, no exceptions. All right. Okay, we're going to pause the video. Okay, so we have reviewed the parts of the cell cycle. Everyone should know the 3 main families or the 3 main parts of the cell cycle. Everyone should know who are in each of the families or each of the sections. Now we are ready to learn about mitosis. Okay, so everyone is listening. That's on your worksheet, so listen very carefully. So the question is, why is mitosis important? Everyone is an adult now. You were once a baby. Dada, mama, crawling, walking. Now you are an adult. Do you know what makes it possible for you to grow? Mitosis. So what is one function of mitosis? One function of mitosis is to help you grow. That's one. So write that down. That's on your worksheet. Why is mitosis important? Two important reasons. Two. I'm going to summarize all of them into only two important reasons. One, because mitosis helps you grow. How does it do it? By adding more cells. Listen, an elephant is bigger than you, or I'm bigger than most of you in my classes. Why? Because I have more cells. Not necessarily because my cells are bigger, no, because I have more cells. So living things grow because they add more cells and not because their cells are bigger. Make sure you know that. Second reason, mitosis is important because it helps repair damaged cells. Like for instance, when you cut yourself, you're damaging your cell. And guess who comes in to produce new and fresh cells so you can heal your wound? Mitosis. Two important things. Mitosis helps you grow, and mitosis is in the job of repairing damaged cells. Okay? So now let's go through the process of mitosis producing two cells. So write this down. And I will slow down so this way you can write it down. First is called prophase. Pro, P-R-O, P-H-A-S-E. Prophase. Prophase is the first phase in mitosis. Once the cell leaves G1, it comes to prophase. So what is happening in prophase? What is the cell doing in prophase? For the mere fact that the cell is going to leave G1 of interphase and then goes into prophase of mitosis, there must be a reason why the cell is doing that. So what's the reason? Why is the cell moving from G1 to P or prophase? Are you ready? One, this is what happens to the cell. One, the nuclear membrane disappears. So write down. Okay, write it down. One, nuclear, N-U-C-L-E-A-R, N-U-C-L-E-A-R, nuclear membrane, M-E-M-B-R-A-N-E, disappears. That nuclear membrane crumbles down, disappears, broken down by enzymes, it's gone. But wait a minute. Why is the nucleus doing that? Why is the nucleus disappearing? You know who's hiding inside the nucleus? It's the chromosome. They are hiding in there. Okay? You can't see them because, number one, the nuclear membrane is protecting it. So the nuclear membrane goes around the chromosome. It's protecting it. You can't see it. And secondly, you can't see it because they are it's like a thin thread. It's like they are pulled out real thin, so thin that you cannot see it. But once that cell is ready to divide, they begin to shorten. They begin to shorten. Now you can see them, and we call them chromosomes. So let's go through it again. Number one, nuclear membrane disappears. It's gone. When it disappears, something appears. That's the chromosome. chromosome appears. Let me repeat. So write that down. Nuclear membrane, what happens to it? That's right, disappears. And what appears? Chromosome. CHROMOSOME. Nuclear membrane disappears, chromosome appears. But that's not all. You also have what they call fibers, spindle fibers appears. SPINDLE. Somebody spell that. Yes, spindle. SPINDLE, spindle fibers appears. Okay. All right, let's talk about that for a minute. Let's review just to make sure. Okay, so what's going to happen is the spindle fibers will later be used to move the chromosome apart. And I will talk about that later on. But one more time before we move on to the next phase in mitosis. So in prophase, three things happen. The nuclear membrane is the house where the chromosome is. We want to divide those chromosomes, but the walls, which are the nuclear membrane, are protecting the chromosome, so it has to crumble. So the nuclear membrane disappears. Now we can visually see the chromosome. So one, nuclear membrane disappear. Two, chromosomes appear. Three, spindle fibers appears. Now we are ready to go to the second phase called metaphase. Skip a line, write metaphase with your color pencil. METAPHASE, metaphase. Okay, metaphase, something interesting happened. It seems like those chromosomes have a brain. It seems like they know what to do. Do you know what happens to those chromosomes in metaphase? They all line up in the middle of the cell. Whoa! Why do they have to do that? Why do they have to line up in the middle? So all of a sudden they line up in the middle. 1, 2, 3, line up in the middle. Why? So that they can be divided into two. Okay? Let me repeat. Why? What happened in metaphase? The chromosomes line up at the equator, or you can say at the middle, or you can say at the center. I prefer you use the word middle and underline the word M for metaphase. Middle M, middle M. So that one is pretty easy. Why do the chromosomes line up in the middle? So they can be separated. Who's going to separate them? The spindle fibers. Remember the spindle fibers that appeared in prophase? Now they're going to, one spindle fiber on this side. I'm going to draw a diagram so you can see. One spindle fiber on this side of the pole, another spindle fiber on this side of the pole. So it's like a tug of war. So they attach to the chromosome. Now they're pulling. This spindle fiber pulling this way, this is pulling this way, and then eventually they're going to have two. So why did they line up in the middle? So they can be separated. Now we'll go to the next one called anaphase. Skip a line, color pencil, anaphase. ANAPHASE. ANAPHASE, anaphase. So for anaphase, what is happening there, underline the letter A for anaphase. Underline the letter A. The chromosomes move apart, or they separate. Move apart, A, anaphase, they move apart from each other, they separate from each other. So one set of chromosomes going this way, the other one going the opposite way. So they're separating from each other. That is anaphase. They form like what I call like a peanut shape, and I will show you that in a minute. That's anaphase. Okay? That's the important thing taking place. Okay, are you ready? The last one is called, skip a line, color pencil, telophase. 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 Telephose. Telophase. Like the tail end. You got me? T, tail, end, tail. Where's the tail? The back. I want you to be at the tail end of the line. Miss you go to the back. So telophase is at the back. That's the last phase. What's telophase do? It's the opposite of prophase. Go back in your notes. See what happened in prophase. That's the opposite. Can somebody tell me what happens in telophase? Yeah. Guess what reappears? Nucleus. Guess what disappears? Chromosome. You can't see them anymore. They're gone. Spindle fiber. Gone. They're all gone. Can't see them anymore. Okay? Any questions? Can answer your question, but the substitute is there. Okay, good. So telophase is the opposite of prophase. Nucleus appears, or nuclear membrane appears, same thing. Centriole, bye, gone, disappear. Chromosome, bye, disappear. The chromosome more or less like they uncoil. Now they become real thin. We call them chromatin now when they become real thin. So they become real thin. You can't see them anymore. They don't. So the only time you know when the cell is ready to divide is when you see the chromosome. Hint, hint, hint. Test question. So anytime you see the chromosome through a light microscope or scanning microscope, you know the cell is ready to divide. Okay? Now we don't have our two cells yet. They're still attached. Now they have to go through cytokinesis. So now go to cytokinesis. It's the last one for this video. Go to cytokinesis. Cytokinesis in plants is different from cytokinesis in animals. Let me repeat again. Cytokinesis in plants is different from cytokinesis in animals. In animals, when the cell is ready now to divide, those two, we still have them attached. This is how it looks like this, they're attached. They have to be separate like this, but they're still attached like this in anaphase. So for them to be separated like this, they form what they call a cleavage burrow. Cleavage furrow, not burrow. So write this down for animal cytokinesis. So write those two words, animal cytokinesis. CYTOKINESIS, animal cytokinesis. So what happens in animal cytokinesis? It forms a cleavage, CLEAVAGE. CLEAVAGE, cleavage furrow, FURROW. Okay, so cytokinesis, it forms a cleavage furrow and then separates those two nuclei into two identical nuclei. Those two nuclei into two identical nuclei. Or divide those two cells into two identical cells. So two identical cells are produced after cleavage furrow for animals. Let me repeat, because I know most of you want to keep your A or your B, but some of you are still striving, so you got to pay attention, take good note. Why is cleavage furrow important? Because it separates the two cells now into two identical cells. Two identical, they separate, completely separated. Okay, so one is not attached to each other anymore, so now they're completely on their own, but they have the same genetic makeup. Now let's go right down, skip a line, write down plant cytokinesis. Plant cytokinesis. Plant cytokinesis, on the other hand, does not have cleavage furrow. Write down plant cytokinesis has cell plate, C-E-L-L, and plate, plate like you eat food from, P-L-A-T-E, cell plate. And the cell plate forms a cell wall between the two cells. The two cells are still attached. They're attached, but right in between them you have a cell wall. They are not separated like animal cells. Remember, cleavage furrow, they separate, so each cell is individual. In plant cell, they are still attached. Why are they attached? Because they have a cell plate which will form a cell wall. Okay? Are there any questions? Okay, now let's draw and explain so you can have a better understanding, okay? So far we're talking about prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Those are the four families, four people in the family of mitosis. Okay, so now let's look and see what is happening. So now you're going to need again 4 or 5 different colored pencils. Okay, first I want you to write prophase. Write prophase. Whoops, is this one? Nope. Well, that's the end of that. All right. So write the word prophase, P-R-O-P-H. So the first phase is prophase. Prophase. Make sure you write this close to the red margin. Okay? Write the word prophase close to the red margin. Prophase. Okay? With that same colored pencil, I want you to draw a cell. And then inside you put like dot, dot, this is the chromosome right here. I mean, that's the nucleus disappearing. And then you put 1, like an X. Put like 2 X's there. Okay, so you get like 2X. This is like broken down line. This line going around the 2 X's is like broken down. Those X's are called chromosome. Okay, draw a short arrow and then go to metaphase. Metaphase, M-E-T-A-P-H-A-S-E. So for metaphase, you draw that same circle again. But this time, they are lined up in the middle. Okay, line up in the middle. 1, 2. Oh, I forgot to look up. I'm sorry, I forgot to put this on there. This should be like the spindle fiber. It's like a star, so put stars. I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but then I need to bring it closer a little bit so you can see it. Can you see that now? Okay, so that's the star right there. See the star? That's metaphase. Okay? All right. Let me bring it back over here. Now, these 2 X's are connected by this star. Look what I'm doing. Look, see that? They're connected. So that's the star. They connect. The 2 stars are connected. And I'll show you that in just a minute. Just a few minutes. But for right now, just draw a short line. Short arrow again, not a line, short arrow. And now we go to anaphase. A-N-A-P-H-A-S-E. Anaphase. So now we go to anaphase. It's like a peanut. Now the chromosomes are separated. See that? So now you have 1, 2, 1, 2. Notice it's like an X, okay? So now we separated them. So that's what happens at the separate. Okay? Let me bring this close again so you can see it. See that? You see where they separate? That is anaphase. All right? Okay, now we go to telophase. Telophase, now something reappear. Can anyone tell me what reappears? That's right. So now the nucleus reappear. So the nucleus reappear. Like now you draw a circle inside. You can't see the DNA because it's kind of uncoiled, so you can't see it anymore. So that's what happens. Okay? Make sure you know that diagram. You need to know the 4 stages in the correct order. Very important. All right? I'm going to leave it here for about 2 seconds or 3 seconds or 5 seconds and give you a chance for you to draw these diagrams correctly. Prophase, look at the nucleus, it's disappearing. See, it's like broken line. The chromosome appear, and on the side you see the spindle fiber. And then the chromosome line up in the middle. Anaphase, they're moving apart. And telophase, the nucleus appears. Okay. All right. This should be in your worksheet already, what is happening in each stage, so I'm not going to write it here. But for right now, we're going to go to the last one. I promise you this is the last one. So the last one for today, for this video, is going to be cytokinesis. So let's go to cytokinesis. Remember, there are 2 types of cytokinesis. So one is called the plant cytokinesis, and the other one is called the animal cytokinesis. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down here for just a second. Whoops, I just destroyed that. All right, so on this side, right, animal cytokinesis. Write down animal cytokinesis. And on the other side, with your other colored pencil, you write down plant cytokinesis. So you have animal cytokinesis and plant cytokinesis. Animal cytokinesis and plant cytokinesis. Okay? I know it's probably not visible because it's too far away. So I'm going to draw it first, then I'm going to bring it to focus so you can see the clarity of it, okay? All right, for the animal, I told you it's going to look like a cleavage furrow. With the same color pencil you use for writing the words animal cytokinesis, use that same color pencil and then eventually it's going to divide into 2 separate. Okay, now for the plant, start. Remember when we talked about the plant structure, so right in that spot right there in the middle is where you have the cell plate. Okay, don't worry, I'm going to bring it closer so you can see. Okay, here I come. There you go, there you go. Okay, can you see it now? So that's the animal. Okay, notice the animal, the cleavage furrow now separate. You got 2 separate cells. Look at the end, the green, that's the animal, you got 2 separate cells. Look at the plant cytokinesis. You have the cell plate in the middle. Okay, the cell plate in the middle. That cell plate is going to change to what? Who remembered? That's right, it's going to change to a cell wall. Okay, that's the end of the video. That is the lesson for, or the video for cell cycle. Okay, everyone get a chance to get that? Okay, the most important thing you need to know again is this. Number 1, the cell cycle involves 3 parts. You have interphase, mitosis, and cytokinesis. All of them are working together to produce 2 cells. You start with 1 and end up with 2 identical cells. S phase is important because that's where the chromosome replicates. Why is the chromosome replicating? So that each new daughter cell will have the same genetic makeup. There are 4 parts of mitosis. PMAT. P stands for prophase, M stands for metaphase, A stands for anaphase, and T stands for telophase. Okay? All right, so let me bring this back over here. So I think everyone has done excellent. All right, everyone has done an exceptional job listening and taking notes. Okay, so that ends this video.